Hey. Welcome back for some writing advice tips. I'm John Hartness. I'm the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books, and I have, I believe at last count, 38 published novel-length works or anthologies that I have either written myself or edited. This is Gandalf. Hello, Gandalf. Say hi to the nice people. Come on. Yeah. Gandalf's my sweet boy. He will be in a lot of videos because he is a ham. But when you're that pretty, how do you not be a ham, right, bud? So yeah, I opened this up to my followers on Blue Sky for some ideas on writing advice. And my friend Jerry replied, "How do you not dig your own brain out with a spoon due to hating what you've worked on so far and feeling an overwhelming urge to rewrite it all?" Well, Jerry, R.I.P. Alan Rickman. I love the idea of digging brains out with a spoon because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more. Regardless, I hate every book I've ever written while I'm writing it. Everyone, from The Chosen, my very first novel, to Unforgiven, my most recent novel, to Church on Time, the upcoming Bubba the Monster Hunter novella that I'm currently writing. I hate them all at various points in the process. Usually from about 20% complete to about 80 to 85% complete. I'm going to throw this away now because otherwise, I'm going to be sitting here holding a paper ball for the rest of the video. And Gandalf's on it. Let's see how much of the ball of paper he can eat before I finish. He has it in his mouth. He has run across the room and is now settling in to eat the paper. I'll be right back. I have to go get the paper away from the cat. I'm back. I have rescued my ball of paper from the cat, and it is now safely in the garbage, which means I will not have to clean up that particular bit of chewed up paper. And I grabbed myself a hoodie because it's a little chilly in the studio right now. You don't actually care about my home heating issues, and while my cats are adorable, their puking is not why you're here watching this. If it is, leave a note in the comments and I guess I'll work on some very different types of content for you. But for now, we're going to talk about what do you do when you hate what you've written? Well, Jerry, and everybody else who's having this problem, the first step is, do you hate it because it's bad? Or do you hate it because you are a needy writer with an overwhelming desire for affirmation in your work and crap self-esteem, i.e. almost every writer everywhere? If it's A, if you hate what you've written because you set it aside for a couple of weeks, you go back and you look at it and it is objectively hot garbage, then you may have to go back to the drawing board. And I've done this. The fifth? No, it wasn't the fifth. Oh, it was Black Knight 7. Black Knight 7, entitled All Night Long, I turned in spectacularly late to my publisher. And when I wrote it, and when I finished it, I handed it to my publisher, who is also my editor for that series. And I said, "Deb, here it is." Actually, what I did was I emailed her before I sent her the manuscript, and I said, "Deb, it's going to be even later. I'm almost done, but it's crap. It's awful." And because she is both a writer and a great editor and a great publisher, she did her best to talk me off the ledge. And she said, "Send me what you've got. Maybe it's okay. You might just be too close to it." She said all of the things that I say to clients when I'm editing for them or to authors when I'm publishing them. So I sent her the book. And then I went on to other things. I was like, not my problem right now. If Deb loves it, I'll finish it and she'll publish it and it'll get us both paid. If she agrees with me that it's crap, we'll figure it out. I got a message back a couple of weeks later that said, so, do you really want to write this book? And that's when I knew that I was right and it was hot garbage. Because I didn't want to write that book. So I took it apart and I started over. There are some pieces of that first abortive Black Knight 7 in Black Knight 8. Some of the plot structure still exists and is still there, but every word was completely reworked. If you have written, you have a work in progress that you're stuck on, and you set it aside for a couple of weeks, it's going to take at least a couple of weeks to get the distance from it, because when you're digging in, when you're in there every day, you're too close. You can't see the details, and you can't, and everything feels bad about the book. So give yourself some distance. 2 to 4 weeks is the minimum I recommend. Then look at it again. If it's crap, throw it out and start over. Don't dig your brain out with a spoon. That will make it much harder to write the second draft. It will also probably completely ruin that spoon. What will probably happen after you take a look at it in a couple of weeks is you'll realize that it's fine. It's a first draft. There are pieces that are clunky. Maybe you make a few notes in the margins. What I tend to do when I find big things that I absolutely have to fix when I'm going back through a book is I put a little note at the top of the chapter header. Chapter 10, figure out what the hell Bubba's sister's name is and be consistent with it. Chapter 6, insert a fight scene here. You know, I make myself little notes. But what you'll probably find after you take a break, de-stress, decompress, and come back to it is, it's probably okay. You probably did just fine with it. Yes, it will need polish. Yes, it will need a revision draft. Yes, it will need an editor. Every book that I write needs an editor. Every book that I edit needs an editor. Sometimes I edit with a very light touch. I was at dinner tonight talking to one of my friends, and he just turned in a manuscript to me a few days ago. And I said I was really looking forward to getting into it, and remarked on the fact that he and I have been friends for more than 10 years, and I've published half a dozen of his books, and this will be the first time I've ever done his editorial. We have a team. I don't edit everything that comes over the transom. I don't edit everything that we produce. I'd be dead. Also, I'm not the right editor for every book. I'll be good for this one. But I told him, it's AJ Hartley. I'm not trying to keep this some great secret. I was at dinner with AJ. And I told him that it will likely be a very light edit because I'm not going to teach him how to write a book. He's published 26, I think, novels. He knows how to write a book. He can't see his own repetition. He won't know what his own word choice foibles are because that's what editors are for. We're here to strengthen the book. We're here to make it as good as it possibly can be. But there were times in the writing of this book that AJ hated the book. I know, we've talked about it. Everyone goes through this with at least some of the books that they write. I don't know if every writer is like me and it goes through it with every single book they write. I've been stuck on chapter 9 of what's probably going to be a 14-chapter Bubba novella for months. Been a lot going on, but I've been stuck. And finally, I ran into, I don't know if I read something or talked to somebody, But an idea for a new character in this novella hit me, and that character was very interesting for me to write. They're very unlike any character I've written before, so that made me excited to come back and work on the book again. So I should be finished with it this week, most likely. Then I can go work on something else that's been lingering. It's been a year, y'all. A lot of stuff has taken a lot of time. But when you get to the feeling of, oh my God, everything's awful, I hate everything I've ever written, I think it's hot garbage, I can't imagine anyone would ever give me money for anything I ever do for the rest of my life. Welcome to the club. Many, many of us have been there. Some of us live there. I know very few writers who are happy with everything they write. Most of the time, when you follow an author on social media, at least the successful authors, you're not going to hear when we aren't happy with the stuff we're doing. Because social media isn't us being honest, it's our public face. And we know that readers are there and people who will buy our books are there. So of course we're going to make it sound way more happy-go-lucky and perfect than it really is. Because we don't want our readers, our potential customers, to know that for 6 of the 8 months I worked on this book, I hated it. I liked month 1 and I liked month 8. But here's the thing, and this is something I learned from Faith Hunter. I think she said it on a panel that we were on together once, or maybe we were just chit-chatting with some people, and she said that sometimes it's terrible. Sometimes writing is hard. Sometimes nothing flows. Sometimes getting every word out is like pulling teeth out of a chicken. If you haven't investigated chickens' mouths lately, not much in the way of teeth, kids. It's like West Virginia in there. No offense to West Virginia. Actually, I don't really care if I offend West Virginia. Anyway, the fact of it is that what Faith said was, when she goes back to reread and re-edit the parts that were terrible to create, she can't tell the difference between the stuff that she hated writing and the stuff that just flowed like water. None of us can. The days that writing is really hard, they actually outnumber the days that writing is easy. They don't call this going to play. When I sit down at my computer, I'm going to work. It's not always easy. Wow, I just realized that since you can't see my hand petting the cat, it just looks like I'm doing something weird, like I'm doing weird arm circles. No, see? Kitty. Isn't he pretty? And yeah, I have speakers in my studio / den. My lazy boy's right there. I'm going to watch Ink Masters later. Our marketing director has gotten me addicted to Ink Masters, and it means I'm going to need to go visit my buddy James in pretty short order. Thinking something new right here. Anyway, I distract myself. I don't need a cat sitting right here being adorable to distract me, but I have one right there. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, if you are writing and it's easy and it's flowing and you think that the words you're putting on the page are great, kick ass. Get on it. Stay on it. Hammer out as much as you can, as fast as you can while it's flowing. Ow. What's funny is he doesn't bite me for petting his belly. He bites me when I don't pet his belly enough. Weirdest damn cat, I'm telling you. But then when it's hard, when every word is like you're typing with your fingers through molasses, which I've never tried to do, so I I'm just assuming that it's going to be very viscous and make it hard to type. Also, don't put molasses on your computer. I work on a laptop, so if I'm typing through molasses, I have bigger problems than sticky fingers. But if every word is hard, if it's all, how do I manage this? Oh my God, this is so tough. What am I doing? Why did I choose this? I really should have gone to law school like my dad was telling me. One, shut up. Two, okay, maybe you should have gone to law school. It probably would have been more lucrative. But three, as long as you're sitting there writing, then you're good. You're doing the work. You just have to keep going. It's like when, what's the old saying? If you're going through hell, keep going. If it's really hard to write, well, keep writing. If you feel like carving your brain out with a spoon, don't. Most people hate what they write at some point. And knowing the difference between what is objectively bad and what is good work, well, that comes from reading, that comes from studying, that comes from practice. Jerry, you, I'm looking at you, buddy. You've written enough to know. You can take a couple of weeks off from a piece, go back to it, look at it. Are there characters with clear motivations, with obstacles? Are there characters with flaws that we are going to care about these people that you've created? Is there a world that we want to play in, that we want to sit in and hang out in? Is it a plot that we can't get enough of? You know that. You know if you've done the work. Come here, buddy. Come here, pal. Yes. That's my pretty boy. Daisy's around somewhere. Oh, damn it, dude. He knocked my drink over. And of course, my cup has cats on it. Christmas gift from my wife a few years ago. Anyway, so Gandalf and I say that if you're going through hell, keep going. And if you're going to dig your brain out with a spoon, borrow a spoon for that gig, because you're not going to want to use yours later if you get brain all over it. That's just gross. If you like this content, if you think that I am an idiot and you want to tell me so in the comments, go for it. But you'll get way more opportunities to tell me I'm an idiot if you like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified. And if you love this content and want to help me feed my cats even more, you can support us on Patreon and you'll get these videos a little bit early. And once we get things rolling, we'll start doing things like Patreon shout outs and that kind of stuffs. So till next time, I'm John Hartness. This has been Writing Advice with Uncle Johnny and Gandalf. Peace.